Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing good. So, in today's video, we are going to discuss what was my interview experience at ITC Infotech. Okay, so we'll discuss that. And as far as I can tell you, in ITC Infotech, I have overall of 1.6 years of experience in ITC Infotech. I was working. So, in total, I already had the 6 years of working experience prior to working with ITC Infotech. So I was working as a automation tester prior to working with ITC Infotech. Then I got a call from ITC Infotech, and then they scheduled few rounds of interview. As you can see, there were only two technical rounds, and then the other one was the HR round. It has okay. So let's just discuss it one by one. What was the interview questions asked in technical round one and technical round two? Okay, so the interviewer would call you and they would schedule your technical round one, which would have some questions. So let's just see that. So in the first question, they would be asking like whether you would be giving the interview at ITC Infotech or some at any other organization. You would be asked to explain your current and the past projects wherever you have worked, because I had already 6 years of working experience. So I was asked to explain the current and the past projects. So I just explained them what are the domain I was working in, what kind of domain it was, what kind of testing I was supposed to do. So I explained them all. And apart from this one, you need to mention your skills as well, like what are the tools and the technologies that you were using in your current projects and in the past projects. Okay, so suppose in the current project you are using Maven, you are using Git, you are using Postman, you are doing the API automation testing, you are using the REST assured. So all these things you need to mention and the framework that you are using it. Okay, just the high level of idea, nothing in detail, just the high level of the skills and the tools and the technologies that you use. Are you using Selenium? Are you using Java? So just that you need to mention. I was working with Selenium with Java, so I've explained the same as well. Okay. So in technical round one, this would be your first question, and in technical round two, there were some questions regarding the Selenium. So in Selenium, there were few questions such as like they were asking me about the action class methods. So what is actions class? It has some few methods regarding the mouse over and the context click methods it has. So they had asked me to write the code for the mouse over and for the context click as well. And in the Selenium also they asked me some questions regarding the find broken links in Selenium. So there's a code snippet which you need to know how you can find the broken links. First you need to gather all the links XPath, and then you need to use a class which would return you basically, and you need to compare that with that, like if that API which you are sending, it should not give you a 400 error code, because 400 is basically a bad request and 4 not found is a not found, so you shouldn't get the 400 series um, response status, right? So in that case you can verify this find broken links in Selenium. And there was one question, the interviewer has given me one screen, like they have given me a Amazon site and they were asking me to find the XPath, because I was searching the mobile phone, and in the mobile phone they asked me to find the price of mobile phone for the sixth mobile phone that I have got in my screen. Okay, so in that way you have to use the relative XPath and find this. So you might need to use the following the siblings, and you need to use the ancestor. These all you need to use in XPath. Okay, and there was one simple question regarding what is difference between implicit XPath, like implicit and the explicit weight. You need to explain it to the interviewer as well. Okay, and there were some questions related to Java as well in the first round itself only. So it was scheduled for half an hour only, and these were the basic questions they had asked it, like, and given like For the basic Java programs, they have given five round, like 5 minutes each, and these were the questions from the Selenium also. So in Java, they asked it about reverse a string I love India to this A should be at first now. So this was the string they have given. And the another question was for segregating the zeros and ones in array, like this 0 1 1 0 0. So zeros should be at first and 1 1 should be at last. So this was the basic Java program questions they has asked. So if you clear the first round, then you will get a call for the technical round 2 as well. So in the technical round 2, they would ask some framework level questions to you. So in the framework level questions, they would be questions regarding, if you explain it to the interviewer, I know Cucumber and BDD framework, so I had explained it the same. So in Cucumber BDD framework, they was asked you what is scenario outline, background, what is runner file, write the code snippet using the JUnit. So you write at the rate Cucumber options, and then you specify a feature file glue, like where your step definition is located. So you specify those things, right? So you need to write that one in the round 2, and they would ask about if you know some API testing also, you know rest assured, or you know Postman. If you know Postman, they would ask you about the status code, what is 200 series X code, what is 200 error code, what is 204 code, what is 400, what is 404, what is 500. So these were the basic questions they would ask in technical round 2. Okay, so if you clear the technical round 2 as well, you would get a call from the HR, and in that case there would be some salary negotiation you can do, and basically they would give around like 70 to 80% of hike. Definitely they would be able to give. So you just need to negotiate your salary in a better way. Okay, and the compensation benefits was like what was the fixed component and what was the variable component. So in the fixed component, it would be around 95% of your whatever the CTC they are offering, and 5% would be your variable component. Okay, and now I would discuss about the testing projects at ITC Infotech, because there are very limited amount of testing projects you will see in ITC Infotech, and those are only based on manual testing only, because I've been involved in two projects in ITC Infotech. So one was purely a manual project, but there were people also doing the automation testing in the same project, but I was being put into the manual testing project. Okay. So there was scope of automation testing, but there were only few people who were doing the automation testing, not more. Okay. So I was being put into the manual testing project only because I was being the guy from the automation testing background, but I was put into the manual testing um, to do it. Okay, so I was remaining in, like I was there in that project for almost like a year. Okay, so I did the manual testing, but their manual testing was involving the Postman testing also. Like I was doing the API testing using the Postman also, and the manual testing of the airline domain I was involved in. Okay, apart from this one, in the on-site opportunities, if I talk about, so there are some projects which has some on-site opportunities. So after 1 year of my working in the manual testing project, I got an on-site opportunity project. So I was given the chance to work uh, at Switzerland. So I was there in Switzerland for 2 months. So I was working there. So it was a banking project only I was working for. So in that one, there also, it initially it was the automation testing I was supposed to do, but later initially I got shifted to a manual testing. So apart from the, like, in the testing domain, the majorly amount of work that they have is in the manual testing. Their focus is limited to the manual testing only. Automation testing projects are very less. Okay, and on-site opportunities, yeah, depending upon the luck and the rapport you have with your manager, you may get some on-site opportunities, but these are not for the long time. These are just for the shorter time only. Okay, So work environment, I would say. So work environment is pretty chilled up, so that no one would question you if you do your work, and if you are working like almost like 8 to 9 hours, so it's fine. So basically the timing is from like 9 hours only. Okay, so work environment is pretty chilled up. Okay, so apart from this one, you won't have much interaction with your colleagues at ITC Infotech, because most of the peoples are working at the client side only. So there are no interactions with the colleagues working at ITC Infotech. You would be involved in the client side projects only. So there are very less interactions with your manager, with your team lead. So you wouldn't have much interactions with your colleagues working at ITC Infotech. Okay. And the worst part is the salary hikes. So the salary hikes that the ITC Infotech gives is very worse. So they gives just a hike of 2% or 3%. Okay, so I'm talking about the experienced folks here. So for the experienced folks, the salary hike is limited to 2 or 3% only. So at the time of annual appraisal, they would ask you, like they would schedule a meeting, and in that meeting they would discuss about what went well you during your year with your ITC in Infotech, and what are the things you have involved in, what you can do better. But these are like the general things you can explain. I did this, I did this, but instead of you have done a great job, also they would extend it to maximum to 5% only. There's limited like 1 or 2% I have seen who have reached almost like 10%. It's like 1 or 2 people I have seen, but most of the folks are getting 2 to 3% hike only. This is the general hike the ITC Infotech is providing. Okay, so yeah, this is the interview experience for me at ITC Infotech. So if you like the channel, if you like my video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.